I don't want you to be the guy in the PG-13 movie everyone's really hoping makes it happen. I want you to be like the guy in the rated R movie. You're a bad man. You're a bad man. You're a bad man.
In the city of Los Angeles, where everyone is a player,
What do you guys do?
Oh, I'm a producer.
Mike can't even get a seat on the bench.
Where do I know you from?
You ever been to the Ha-Ha hole on Pico?
Oh, you're a comedian.
It's it's a dream. It's a lot of hard work and travel.
I know where it is. Starbucks. You came in and asked me for an application.
But now his closest friends are getting him back into the swing of things.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
This happens to be a $100 minimum bet table. Perhaps you'd be more comfortable at one of our lower stakes tables.
How you ladies doing this evening?
What do you drive?
Cavalier.
It's a nice touch.
So how long do I wait to call?
2 days is like industry standard.
Well, how long are you guys going to wait to call your babies? 6 days.
Miramax presents the film that had an entire country on its feet.
You know what, big boy? You're grown up!
Swingers.
Hi, this is Nikki. Leave a message.
Hi, Nikki, this is Mike again. I just called because it sounded like your machine might have cut me off when I...
Roger Ebert calls it sweet, funny, observant.
Mikey's the big winner. Mikey wins.
A movie that defined a generation.
Hi, this is Nikki. Leave a message.
I didn't want you to think I was weird or desperate. Hello?
Mike, don't ever call me again.
Swingers.
Wow.
Get a nightlife.
Welcome to Days of Actors Past, Jon Favreau, Episode 1. I'm Wookie, this is Colin, and today we're going to be discussing the career of Jon Favreau. That's it.
For the moment, we'll just discuss this movie, but...
Yeah, exactly, but that's the podcast, isn't it? It's Days of Actors Past, Jon Favreau.
Do we have to call it that? Actually, this is good conversation for the podcast.
Yeah.
Just start recording.
I already did.
You sneaky. So we're talking about Swingers, obviously. Vince Vaughn, Jon Favreau, directed by Doug Liman, 1996. And it really shows us it's a different time. I mean, when I watched it, it was a contemporary movie. Now, it's a fucking period piece, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
The world has changed that much.
Yes, it has. It's got so many references in it too, and homages. Yeah.
Obviously, Doug is a fan of, pulp cinema.
Yeah.
Right?
Tarantino, yeah.
Yeah. Like, he's got Tarantino reference there. He's got the Scorsese reference there.
Yeah, and the movie is essentially about a guy that can't get over his ex-girlfriend.
Right. The movie is about that. It is. And his relationship with his friends, who are essentially cast like and this is to do with the references, it's like a mob movie where the heist is to get a girl.
Yes.
Right?
That's the end game, yeah.
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 So, I mean, just for a quick overview, we'll sort of go like scene by scene, roughly what's happened. So, essentially, we start out with the...
Frank Sinatra score.
That's right. Frank Sinatra over the Los Angeles nightline. I mean, it is not Los Angeles.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah. And so basically, we've got shots there. People in clubs, and a bit of a romance theme. Obviously, the song itself, "You're Nobody Till Somebody Loves You." So it's definitely a quote romantic comedy, unquote. Where it's you know what it's not a romantic comedy, it's a bromantic comedy.
Romantic comedy.
Right.
Maybe the first of its kind.
Well, maybe, which is not to suggest that he romances his bros as such, because this is a very, I mean, once again, this is a product of the times, but it's a very heterosexual movie to the point of hilarity. But it's really not about his relationship with the women, so much as it is about the relationship with his friend.
Yeah.
And how in different scenarios, obviously to begin with, his friend Vince Vaughn. He's the confident one, the one who sort of takes the lead in every social situation. It's always him sort of like, John's character is taking every lead from him. Whereas later on, he finds him to be essentially sort of leading him down a path that's sort of getting him nowhere.
Yeah, exactly, because it works for Vince Vaughn's character, but not for Jon Favreau's.
And why is this? Why does it work for Vince Vaughn?
Because that's what it works for him.
Right. And do you think it works for him because he's being authentically himself, or for some other reason?
Interesting.
I'm gonna hesitate. I'll speculate that. So Vince Vaughn's character, he's tall, obviously very handsome, and not much. It doesn't really say much to us about his financial situation, but he carries himself as if he's a wealthy man.
Yes, he does. With his car, with his suits, everything. Yeah, his persona. Yeah.
And so scene by scene, we start out with the nightlife. Yeah. Next, we go to the diner, where Jon Favreau's character is having a chat with the other main support character.
Yeah, Rob.
That's it. Ron Livingston's character, who's you might recognise from Office Space.
Yeah.
Hilarious guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I always thought that he was from King Kong, but that's the guy from that TV show. Oh, with the cat and the newspaper. Remember that one? He'd wake up and he'd get the tomorrow's newspaper.
Yes. What was that? Early edition?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
right.
I always got Rob Livingston and that
mixed
actor.
up with that guy. Yeah. Why? I mean, they're both white guys, right? With dark hair.
Sure.
Why not?
Yes. So as you said, they start off with Jon Favreau's character and John Livingston in a coffee shop.
And so I feel like Ron's character here, the movie doesn't have a narrator, obviously, but I feel his character almost takes the place of the narrator. He's always completely direct, honest, and unpretentious with Jon Favreau's character. So essentially, right at the beginning, he's talking through, okay, look, you've just broken up with your girlfriend, you left, you've come across to Los Angeles, the other side of the country, and he's really very direct about saying, look, there's nothing you can do at this point to improve the situation with her. There are only things you can do to make it worse.
Yes. Yes.
And we're going to see John's character, scene after scene, get himself into these situations where he can't seem to do anything right, and everything he does makes things worse.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, what was Ron Livingston's character saying? Something about...
Well, he was saying to start with, look, so essentially what you need to do is forget about her.
Yeah.
And then he says, right. So what I should do is just forget about her, but then pretend to forget about her.
Yeah.
You know, when I see her again.
Yeah.
And he's like saying, well, but it usually works the other way. That to begin with, you pretend to forget about him, but then you actually eventually really do just forget about him.
Yes. Yeah. And you see through the whole arc. That's what happens.
That's right. And he says that sometimes they just know.
Yes.
They just have a sense of when you really have forgotten about it. That's when they'll call.
Yes.
When you really have forgotten.
Yeah,
and you really don't care anymore. Somehow they know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like when you're looking for that girl or looking for a girl, anyone, you have this persona, this aura about you, this vibe you give off that you're looking. But as soon as you just fucking give up and you're like, oh, whatever, and you have fun and you live your own thing, that's more enticing.
But that's kind of the theme of the movie.
Yeah.
So after the first scene where we've got the guys in the diner basically giving him straight talk, we then go back to John's apartment where basically he's just feeling sorry for himself and he's just settled in. He's just going to have another night of probably sitting in front of the television, eating fucking cookie dough, drinking orange juice.
Yeah.
Yep. And, but he gets a call. He gets a call from...
That was your last message. You have to put things in perspective.
I know.
She doesn't deserve you.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
There are plenty of fish in the sea.
Great, that's great advice. Thanks a lot. Okay, bye.
Life after all.
Will you stop? I'm trying to make a phone call.
Are you calling
Vince
her?
Vaughn's
No,
character.
will you stop?
And
Trent Walker.
Trent,
Yeah.
the T man.
Yeah, that's right.
And so here it is. Like you can see from the scene that it's already dark. It's like it must be 8 p.m. at least.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hang on, baby, we're going to Vegas. Let's go to Vegas." And,
Yes.
despite his protestations, you can see here that he really needs someone to give him the push to get out of his comfort zone.
Absolutely. He's like, no, I'm not going. No, I'm not going.
He just wants to sit in his fucking sleeping bag,
Yeah.
jerk off.
Yes.
But his mate knows that that's not going to get him any closer to his goal.
Absolutely.
He's got to get out there. So he agrees. And they go to Vegas.
Yeah. Well, he does, but he kind of subtly, like he's like, no, I'm not going out. There's no chance. Cut two.
That's
them in
right.
the car.
Cut straight to the scene.
Yeah. And it is a bit of a trope scene. It still works.
Where you've got someone disagreeing.
Yeah, like, no, not doing it. And then, yeah, so I do like that trope.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
It's used really well here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. So they're in the car driving to presumably Vegas. And instantly I thought, John Favreau's character hadn't been there before. It just had that vibe that Vince Vaughn's character knew what's going on.
Well, he's only fairly new in LA.
Yes,
LA
true.
has got to be like a
been there
fucking
for 6 months.
3-hour drive from Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like the sort of thing you just wake up and do because you felt like it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got to make a plan to fucking do this shit.
Yeah, it's like going to Launceston.
Right. Like in Tassie, there. You don't just randomly go to Launceston.
Yeah.
Right. The Launceston may as well be 500 kilometres away. It may as well be 1,000 kilometres away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so yes, they're in the car, and already he's freaking out that his mate hasn't changed.
Yes.
And so to appease him, he literally just gets changed as he's driving.
Yes.
That's how fucking chilled T is. It's like they're sculpting this character in which nothing bothers him.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's like the fucking Iceman. Like no matter what's happening, he's in control.
Yeah. John Favreau's character Mike, he's like, I'm all suited up. I can't go now because you've got to dress up. And yeah, as you said, Trent, he's just so nonchalant.
Yeah.
Like, cool. I'll drive. I'll get dressed while driving. Yeah. He's like, hold the steering wheel.
Yeah, that's it. Hold the wheel. And he starts fucking stripping off and getting changed in the car as he's driving.
Yeah.
Yep.
What a boss move.
And then so he's Mike is cooking up. Okay, this is what we'll do. This is the plan. So I got $300 out, but so mate, looks like we got some money, but I'm only going to bet with 100. The unspoken line there, because that's all I can fucking afford. I'm poor. Right. And this is, let's be clear, this was made in 1996. Okay, $300 in 1996. I don't know if we do a quick conversion, but it's probably more like Australian $1,500 right now.
I see. It's $300. 1996.
Are you doing the conversion there?
Oh.
Rightio.
All right. So let's see. In other words, $396 is equivalent in purchasing power to about $495 in 2020.
Okay, so it's saying to $495 American, which is more like closer to about $1,000 Australian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That being said, I feel like there are other factors involved too where certain things have become cheaper. Of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
Other things have become more expensive.
Yeah.
That it's hard to make a direct translation, but
Yeah.
which is beside the point.
That's right.
The point is, this is a lot of money.
Yeah, it is a lot of money. It probably would equate to about $1,500 worth of stuff.
Even if it's only $1,000, that's $1,000. You know, I mean, yeah, like you don't want to just go, oh, I'm just going to lose $1,000. You know, like that's never your plan.
No.
Okay. So it's like, right, so I got $300 cash out. I'm only going to bet with 100. But you know, that's why they'll give us free shit if they think we're rich. This is why it's so important for him to be dressed for the occasion. So finally, so like there's actually 2 car scenes on the drive down. There's the first scene where they're discussing this stuff we just discussed, but then it cuts again.
Yeah.
Finally, they're driving in,
Yes.
just to sort of show us, hey, a lot of time passed between then and then. And as they're driving in, Mike is fucking asleep.
Yeah.
He's literally asleep. And fucking Trent, as the hype man, is still trying to carry it on. You know, saying, Vegas, baby, Vegas. And finally, sort of, Mike wakes up, and you can tell that like there's any enthusiasm he had is gone. Absolutely anything is gone.
Yeah.
But so they roll up, and straight away, so T understands something about the reality of the situation. He knows that, you know, a couple of probably basically unemployed guys can't roll into the fucking Ritz. They can't walk into the Palms or the Caesar's Palace or wherever these, you know, high money fucking casinos are. They're just going to get swept away immediately.
Yes. And
People who really do have serious money could smell straight away that they're poor. Instantly, they'd be able to tell. So, but T knows this. So the casino he takes him into is just, this is like, he says, we got to kick it old school.
Yes. Just full of old people.
It is, and it's like a fucking, it's like a bingo fucking den, just about. You know, like obviously we've got casinos in Tasmania, and we also have like what we call pokies or slots and all sorts of pubs. So someone can go to the pub and there's like a back room full of slots, and there you will see the pensioners.
Yes,
wasting their pension checks. This is the vibe in this casino that T's taken them to. Just all old people wasting their pension checks. And then they're thinking, what are we going to do? Blackjack. Let's do some blackjack. And they have a quick scan of the place and look around at the tables. And
he's like, that's where I'm going to win some money.
Right.
Yeah.
And well, they look straight over to like the first table, which is like the high table. And they see a couple of young, pretty women with twins, I think, even. With some old guy, and they're like, right, this is where the money is. This is who we have to impress. Because I don't know where their thought process goes. And sure enough, within a minute or two of being at that table, they get offered a drink.
They do, from a waitress.
They do,
yeah.
And
Trent is just so rude to her.
Not Trent, Mike. Oh no, Trent is, but no, you're thinking of the later scene. The first time they're offered a drink at the table, Mike stumbles over what kind of drink he was wanting.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, oh, I want a single malt, a Glen Gary, a Glen Fittich, any kind of Glen.
Remember? I do.
And she's like, okay. And then that's the last we see of her for the moment.
Yeah.
Right, so then they're betting at the table. Right. They're betting at the table.
Well, also, we watched this about a week ago.
Right,
so it's freshish in our mind. Yeah.
They start betting at the table, and then already there's another issue where, so Mike's pulled out his fucking $300.
Right.
And he's fronting like, oh, I just casually got $300 in my pocket.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just bet with this money. So he says to you, let's start with like 300. But then he goes to give the money to the croupier, and he can't part with it. It's like Bilbo with the ring. Like he's trying to give it to Gandalf. can't give it to him. Like, he's like this with the money.
Yeah.
And the creeper's like, you have to lay it on the table for me to change it.
I can't take it from your hands. Yeah.
Yeah.
We also got to add that both characters want to be actors as well.
Yes.
That's right. Well, no, comedians.
Well, yeah. So, see, I feel like they kind of keep T's career in the dark a little bit.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's true. I didn't really think about what he was doing.
But there is the story about the audition.
There's a lot of stories, real or made up. Who knows?
Yeah. No, well, that's it. Well, we'll get to this. So he's finally parted with the money. He put it on the table, and straight away the creeper's gone, changed it. Tum, tum, tum. It's just like 3 little chips, $100 chips. And
his look of just like, oh, is that my money?
Yeah, that's all. This is like a huge amount of money for him.
Yeah.
3 chips. And he's like, oh, you got anything smaller? And then he's like, hey, maybe you'd be more comfortable at one of our lower tables. And they take a glance over at this lower table and they see some old bikey looking dude, some, I don't know, like
pensioners,
retired fucking stripper type, and a legit fucking old age pensioner.
Mm-hmm.
So they see these motley crew, and they're like, no, we don't want to hang with the fucking these guys. We want to kick it on the big table. So of course he loses his money straight away.
Yeah, he does.
He just loses like his 3 chips, and he loses 2 of them straight away.
Yeah. What does he get? He gets a 6 and a 7, I think it is.
He got a 6 and a 5, and of course you double down.
Yeah, that's right.
You got to double down on a 6 and a 5
yeah.
if you're looking for a face card or a 10 for a 21.
Yeah.
And then you want to double pay for that because the odds are good that you get a face card.
Mm-hmm. And that double down is used throughout the film as well.
That's it. They come back to that.
Yeah.
So I'll try not to get too bogged down in the fucking recounting of each scene. But so, loses the money, so they head over to the poor people's table. And then they see the hotel manager giving a free, like, bed and breakfast to the old age pensioner that was there. Yeah,
because she got 21.
And it's so crazy how she got the 21. So she's dealt, like a garbage. And then she says, like, hit me. And then it's like 15. Hit me. 17. Hit me. I like it just keeps hit me until it's 21.
Yeah.
And, which, is against the odds, but it's got to happen.
Yeah, that's right. It worked for the story.
Yep. So they change their money back out, and they think, okay, let's get some breakfast. But T actually ends up a little up. There's a little bit of obviously there's some gambling that happens in between.
Off screen.
Yeah, off screen.
Yeah.
By the time they change their chips out, T ends up actually a little bit up.
Yeah.
And and Mike
plays it cool. He's just like, no, I lost a bit. He's like, how much you lost? Oh, about 50. No, actually about 30. Yeah. Great.
Yeah, so they change their money. They're like, okay, look, let's have some breakfast. T's trying to keep optimism up because like the whole purpose he brought him out is he wants to
have fun, get him out of thinking
out of his comfort
girlfriend.
zone. Yeah. That's it. And, interacting with some other women.
Yeah, which essentially he just wants to get him laid.
Basically, yes.
Yep.
But even if not getting him laid, wants to get him interacting with the women at least. Mm-hmm. So they go and straight away, he's the waitress comes over, take their order, and he starts to try and pull some shit like he's all smooth, and he's not smooth at all. Makes himself look like an idiot again, and that is the theme really of him making himself look like an idiot.
Yeah.
So finally, they see the waitress again from earlier.
Yeah.
From earlier, and she says, I walked around with that stupid fucking whiskey on my plate for the last hour, and I couldn't find you. Doesn't even say sorry. But then here comes T with the money moves.
Yeah.
Where he's like, oh, well, if you will just go grab a Glenfiddich for myself and my friend, there's a 50-cent piece here with your name on it. So, it's the classic diss move. But
there's a bit of charm in it.
There is. Because the thing is, and T actually explains this quite well to Mike as they're sitting down for breakfast. And he says, look, you want to be respectful to women, yes, but you know what they respect? They respect honesty. It's like, you want to talk about fucking puppy dogs and shit. She knows what you're there for.
Yeah.
You're trying to be cute, and it's just going to come off as insincere. I don't care how much you like puppy dogs.
Yeah.
You're not talking to her about puppy dogs because you like puppy dogs. You're talking to her because you want to talk to her.
That's right. And the amount of times that Mike tries to exaggerate and make his comedic career sound a bit more extravagant than it actually is. But T's always like, yeah, no, fuck. He says it like it is. So and yeah, and
it's not that he'll never lie, because he will, but he does the comfortable lie that you can ignore.
Yeah,
rather than make yourself look like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, for sure.
So even though the odds were against it, T has convinced the waitress to bring a friend, meet them at the Bamboo Lounge later when she closes.
Yeah,
and a friend's very attractive as well.
Yeah,
obviously, as they're walking up, there's like 10 guys standing around these girls.
That's right.
But they walk in fashionably late, and
all the 10 guys just part ways.
That's it.
Yeah,
and straight away, and the girls are. They're not trying to push anything. They're just essentially absolutely open to whatever it is that these guys are bringing. And T once again plays it cool. What's up, ladies? How you doing? Nice haircut.
That's right.
Having a laugh about the costume, etc. So
yeah.
And then here we go. Mike tries to big up himself. He's like, "Yeah, I'm a and they're already laughing.
Yeah,
they're already laughing at what he's saying. He's like, "Well, I'm a comedian," and then absolute dead silence.
Yeah,
it's like he's totally bombed in front of a girl he's trying to get with.
Yeah,
excruciating, and he treats her like an idiot too. So because they say, "Oh, what do you do?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm and she says like, "Who's your booking agent?" After he says he's a comedian, and he's like, "Oh yeah, well I don't know, I don't really have some West Coast representation at the moment."
Yeah, and they're like, "Who's your representation back where you're from?" And he's like, "Oh, I am kind of in between them at the moment."
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly. He just should just be fucking open.
But how about the under the breath comment, which is like, when she says, "So who's your booking agent?" His very first reaction, he turns to T under his breath, goes, "Oh, she knows about booking agents."
Oh yeah,
treating her like as if she's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
It's like, hang on, she works in Las Vegas.
Yeah, just because she's a waitress doesn't mean that she's
a waitress in Las Vegas. She's probably a fucking actress herself. Trying to make it. Yeah. Trying to make it as an actress. That's how you end up in that kind of role.
That's right. Because her other friends dressed up as Dorothy. That's right. They make the Dorothy reference. Some sort of joke. That's right. He goes, "We're not in Kansas anymore." Yeah.
Yeah.
And that bombs. That just bombs. Yeah.
Such a bomb.
Oh, it's great.
It's like, stop trying to be clever.
Yeah.
It's not very clever.
Yeah.
So they talk to the waitresses, but even still, they're unruffled, and she's like, "Oh well, look, come back to my place."
Yeah.
And her place is like a caravan, a trailer, you might call it, motorhome. And so they're sitting there drinking, and
they've each got their arms around each woman,
getting very comfortable.
Yeah, chit chat, laughing.
And here's Trent talking about his audition story.
Yeah,
and the story itself, pretty sort of self-indulgent kind of story, but his body language is perfect. Like you can see how he's leading the whole room in conversation. He's showing them when it's okay to laugh, when to be engaged, when to sort of lay back. Like, it's a thing of beauty how he leads that conversation.
Absolutely.
And it was perfectly designed to set the mood for, right, now the shit's over, then we can go and fuck. Right? That's what this was about.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's telling this story, gets to the end of the story, brilliant story, and what does Mike say?
Double down?
He says, oh, well, we all have stories. It's like, okay, hit us with your story, Mr. Storyman.
Yeah.
Give us a story.
Yeah.
And he's got nothing else to say.
Yeah, he failed in that one.
And even still, even after all of these multiple failures,
the girl still wanted them.
Yep. And so she does the classic move, and they're in a caravan.
Yeah.
Right. She says, oh, I haven't given you the tour.
Yeah.
So they go off to the Trent and the other waitress. They go off into the bedroom.
Yeah, close the curtain.
Yep.
Dorothy.
Like, okay, now you two, you're alone.
Yeah, Mike and Dorothy. Yeah.
Yep. And she was up for it. She knew what she was there for.
Absolutely.
And there was no pretense. But then, so what happens? He starts to fucking freak out, and he wants to check his answering messages in case his ex-girlfriend has called.
Yeah, but kind of before this, you see Trent opening up the curtain a little bit, looking, and it looks like the girl they're kissing.
Yep.
And he's like, yeah, all right. But then on to what you were saying,
Yeah.
exactly. He freaks out.
I know, like, it's... there's no reason
he's landed it.
Yeah.
It should be fucking Insider, yeah.
What, it's like he's deliberately trying to sabotage himself.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
What did he think was going to happen after that? Imagine if she'd left a message. Imagine what that would be. But of course, so in order to check his fucking answering machine, he has to use her phone, which is in the bedroom. So he has to not only ruin it for himself, but ruin it for Trent.
Because he's got that card thing. He keeps on going on.
I've got a calling card. It's not going to cost anything. He's like, no one gives a fuck about that. Right. It's like, we don't want the interruption, you dumbass. The interruption is the problem, not the call cost.
Yeah. But it's amazing how much, because he was talking to that Dorothy chick, and she was really caring, like, oh, that's really sweet, and it sucks that you're going through all this. So,
of course, of course, and which is once again just showing sort of like everyone around him is a decent, normal person. He's the fuck up, right? This is the theme of what's happening here.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, no, she's really lovely to him, and the thing, obviously, she was just as happy to not fuck him.
Yes,
no problem.
Yeah,
you whatever you want.
Yeah,
we'll fuck. We'd want fuck. No problem. Yeah, like, she was, like, really easygoing.
Uh-huh.
But he was, like, stuck in his own little world of, I have to... My real problem is I can't get over my ex, so I have to go and break up this situation to check, to see if she's tried to call me.
Yeah, could have been that one chance you called and left a message, and if I don't get back to her straight away, then end.
And this is the ridiculous thing. The reality is, so what time in the morning is it? They left the casino at fucking 6 a.m., right? Wasn't it 6?
Yeah, it was about 6, yeah.
Because that was when they met at the Bamboo Lounge.
Uh-huh.
So they would have got to her house like 6:30, right?
Yeah, okay.
So, if she called, it would have been over the wee hours of the night.
Uh-huh.
Surely she wouldn't have been expecting to sit there by the phone.
Yeah.
Hopefully she doesn't think he's that much of a freak, even though he just about is. He just about is. So if she had called, he would have been he would have been able to fucking still get with this girl, get home from Vegas back to LA, then check his answering machine, and she would have known no different anyway. Mm-hmm. So he's freaking out about like it's
nothing.
Like. Yeah, just this sort of ridiculous idea that just in case she's called, I better not sleep with some other girl just in case she called, which is only going to hurt himself.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's funny. He gets Trent walks with a towel out of the thing and sits down, and he's just looks just annoyed.
Yeah. How could you not be? How could you not be? And the thing is, he doesn't have, he actually just Trent gets over it really quickly.
He does.
By the time they've left the house, they've fucking got back into the car for the road trip. Trent's like, look, I don't care. I just wanted to get you out and have some fun.
Yeah,
and we know he's telling the truth. Trent hasn't got any problems getting with women.
Yeah. Exactly.
At all.
Yeah.
It's his mate that's got the fucking issue.
Yeah.
He's who's trying to help him.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, back to LA. Next scene, we've got Mike and Rob playing golf.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Rob's talking about how he's saying, Nick, I moved out here to LA because I saw you were doing all right. So I thought, hey, maybe I can do all right as well. Mm-hmm. But all I can get are these fucking terrible roles. Goofy is the role that he had. Playing Goofy is who he auditioned for in his previous. Yeah,
wow,
like playing Goofy at a fucking theme park. Like this is how low he's sort of fallen.
Right.
He's desperate for work. But another interesting thing happens here is he explains that, oh shit, maybe I'll have to call the parents for some money.
Mm-hmm.
So that does something in terms of the setting. It sort of shows kind of the privilege of the characters. Like whether or not the other guys had parents they could call as well, not sure. But Rob definitely did.
Mm.
So I think there's a reasonable expectation that at least some of the other guys had that open to them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So these are they're rich kids playing actor.
Mm.
Or comedian.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely is the theme of it.
Yes. So they have the golf game, and then he's essentially saying, look, you think you got it bad, I got it worse.
Mm.
However bad you think you got it, I got it worse.
Yeah, he always brings it back to himself, doesn't he?
Yeah. Then next we've got the Ren at T's little brother's house.
Oh yeah.
Playing Sega Mega Drive.
Yeah. Like NFL fucking
like NFL 95.
Yeah.
Was it something like that?
Yeah.
I think they were playing 95. It's a 96 movie, but
yeah.
I think pretty sure the game was playing NFL 95. Oh, NHL 95.
NHL, yeah.
Yeah. Hockey,
yeah.
And, a little bit of shenanigans there. What this scene's really about is it's showing us the relationship between Trent and the little brother.
Mm.
And the little brother, Sue.
Oh, yeah.
Sue, his name is.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
He emulates him in every way possible.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, whatever Trent does, Sue does his best to try and follow.
Mm-hmm. Trent,
Anyway.
or was it Trent or is it Ron's brother?
No,
it was Trent. Yeah, it was Trent. Yeah, of course it was. Yeah. Yeah, he looks up to Trent. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely he does. Yeah. Absolutely. So, and the dynamic between them, yeah. So, Trent he's obviously the older brother, but he's the older brother in every aspect that role would imply.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sue totally looks up to him.
Mm.
Anyway, so this gathering is they're about to go out on the town again, go to some parties, go to see there's this party that presumably I'm not sure who was invited or who found out about it. Probably Trent, because he's the one with the fucking contacts, essentially.
Yeah, they're also waiting for a pizza. Was it a pizza?
To begin with, yeah, they were some sort of takeaway food.
Yeah.
And, they fuck with the delivery driver.
Yeah, but that's right. They're getting ready for the party.
Yep. And so they're headed to, there's a couple of places they want to check out. They want to go to this party in, quote, the hills, unquote, for a modelling agency. So they're expecting to see a lot of models there. And as it turns out, there are a lot of models there when they get there. And two other places they want to check out. One of them is like a jazz club, and the other is the Dresden, which seems to be their reliable, their local kind of watering hole, essentially. So yeah, first they go to the party.
Yeah.
Oh no.
No, but even
First
before that.
So first they go to the jazz club.
Yeah, but even before that, they had the great scene when they got someone to answer the door, and then Trent was doing like a headlock with his brother.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No,
and-
just showing that.
Yeah.
Full shenanigans.
I love that, and it just reminded me of the scene from Reservoir Dogs.
You're right, you're right, and I shouldn't have left that out.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. As they're wrestling around on the ground, it's like you can see that it's just another
homage,
another facet. I'd say
facet.
another facet of their relationship.
Okay.
But it obviously, so Sue gets aggro because Trent's fucking with him, and how he does this is by he starts playing the game when it's paused.
Yeah.
Right? So Sue gets aggro, attacks Trent. Trent rolls him over and starts sort of slapping him on the face in a very like a playful kind of
brotherly
way.
love.
Yeah. And you can see that Trent's like totally got it over him, and Sue starts to crack the shits or whatever, and this is all happening as the delivery guy is at the door.
That's right, yeah, and they're always shouting out profanities like "call him in," what's his name?
Yeah, and like there's some like sort of racist fucking overtones there too.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyways,
and there's also posters of was there a Reservoir Dog poster?
There was a Reservoir Dog poster.
Yeah,
and there was also a poster of something else, wasn't there? It was like Goodfellas, wasn't it?
Probably. Either that, some of the pop style film.
Yeah, no, I think it was. Fuck, I can't remember. But yeah, I think it was like Goodfellas and Reservoir Dogs, which those movies are both drawn on heavily in this in terms of the way that the scenes are framed. Anyway, so yeah.
So cut to the party.
Well, first they actually go to the jazz club, and this is where they meet up with.
Okay.
It's just it's busy as hell.
Okay.
And the band that's playing, I'm not sure the name of the band, but they reminded me of the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
That's right. I remember the jazz club in that.
And yeah, so there's just I say jazz. I should call it swing, shouldn't I?
Yeah, that's right.
Swing music.
Yeah.
So down in this club, and that club makes another cameo a bit later.
Mm-hmm.
But so down in the club, they meet the mate, and the mate is like, hey, what's it going on, guys? Yeah, I'm a struggling actor too, which we kind of, so, I didn't get this part. Oh, did you get that other part? He's like, I had to audition for Goofy. He's like, oh, yeah, well, at least it's Disney. Like, trying to put some positive slant on it.
Yeah.
And this guy's like always like pretty positive, pretty funny sort of character. And then they ask him, look, we're going to head up to this party in the hills.
His name's Charles, by the way.
Charles.
Yeah.
We're going to head up to this party in the hills. And then Charles is like, yeah, why not? This place is dead anyway. And it's like packed, wall to wall packed. This place is dead anyway.
Yeah.
So they drive up to the hills, and this is where we get the Reservoir Dogs scene.
Oh, yes. And the classic, the cars just following each other.
Yeah, well, first we got the walk.
Yeah.
Well, first there's that scene where they're just like in a cafe or something.
Yeah.
And it's sort of swinging around the table.
Yeah.
And you've got that. This was originally a Goodfellas scene as they swing around the table, which Tarantino did an homage to in Reservoir Dogs.
Right, yeah.
When they're sitting in the cafe and it swings around.
Yeah.
Then there's the classic Reservoir Dogs scene. All four of them walking.
Slow motion.
Yep.
And
or
even
five.
And even the music's similar
Yeah.
to that. Yeah.
Well, you may remember Reservoir Dogs, the soundtrack Reservoir Dogs, was from the swinging sounds of the 60s.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Okay.
It was 70s. It was swinging sounds. Anyway.
This is making me want to watch the movie again. It's so fucking good.
It is. It is quite good. So, yep, they head up to the party in the hills. Okay, so first off, Mike bumps into someone, greets him really warmly. He's got no fucking idea who he is. And this, I think this tells us something important about Mike's character, is that as much of a fucking loser it seems as he is socially, he's actually kind of well known, right? So it slips out a bit later that he hosts an open mic, right, with a comedian's open mic at a pub called the Ha Ha Hole. The worst name ever. So there's every reason to believe that this guy is a regular at that place, or maybe he is a comic. And Mike just fucking didn't recognize him because he's so socially inept. But yeah, so I think that's what that was showing us.
Right, okay.
So that it's just T's always telling Mike, he's like, you know, you're so money and you don't even know it.
Yes.
You know, like
That's
he's
a
actually quite kind of respected by, you know, this particular crowd at least.
You just can't see it.
Well, he's just not in touch with other people socially. He's just
And
so caught up in his own head.
Yeah, and you just can't see how like good he is.
Right. Yeah. No. Yes. I just think that was. Kind of like Trent's way of trying to give him more confidence.
Okay.
Right.
I see.
And I'd say yes, it's true. You can't see how money he is, but only in the same sense of, you know, you're a person. You know, don't discount all your worth. You know, you're a person. You're worth something. You know, it's not so much necessarily about him, but that, you know, he's doing that too. He's like kind of, you know, trying to encourage him. But yes, I believe that. Yeah, he's not a stranger to everyone. People do know who he is. They're saying, and this is part of him saying, you know, fuck, you know, your money. You just don't even know.
I wish I could remember that jazz scene. I just don't remember it at all.
Well, all they're doing is, mostly it's the band playing.
Okay.
You remember the band playing?
I remember
Scotty,
bits of
yeah.
it.
What's it gonna be?
But yeah, I remember that.
Gin and tonic sounds mighty fine to
I just
me.
don't remember what much of their interaction was.
Right. Well, no, they're just struggling through people because it's so busy.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, yep. So they get Charles. They head up to the hills.
Yeah.
Mike sees a person. Can't fucking remember who he is. What does Charles do? Looks around. All the bottles are empty. So he goes for the fucking closed bottle of Glenfiddich from the fucking, like from the shelf. Like this isn't even part of the party drinks.
Yeah.
Like they haven't brought their own drinks. These are like party crashers. Right?
Yeah.
They're totally party crashers.
Yeah. Wasn't Vince Vaughn in Party Crashers? Wedding Crashers.
Well, Wedding Crashers is like a play on Party Crashers.
Right. Yeah.
A party crasher is someone who goes to parties uninvited.
I'm pretty sure it was in the movie Wedding Crashers with what's his name? Luke Wilson? Owen Wilson?
And fucking Busey, Jake Busey.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Fuck that movie. Anyway.
Right, so they're essentially like party crashers at this party. Yeah, they're stealing top shelf fucking things.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Stealing the fucking top shelf at someone's house.
Yeah.
And this party was not at some restaurant or premises. This was someone's house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably the director of the modelling agency. Probably. Or maybe one of the models, but probably the director. Anyway, so yeah, this house, it's a party for a modelling agency and there's heaps of models around. Mike goes up to the fucking, like literally like the first girl he sees pretty much.
Yeah. Two girls talking.
Yep.
He's like, how's it going, ladies? And they look at him a bit unknowing and like, what sort of car do you drive?
Yeah.
And he's like, whatever. What was his car?
Straight away she's like, what do you drive?
Yeah.
Like, where are you coming? And I think just so the framing of the scene.
Right.
Where they're standing in the hallway, they're like a couple of steps up to it. So
that is
like,
a good frame.
So how Rob and Mike have walked up to it, it's like they're really being looked down on, figuratively and literally.
Yes.
Right. And as they're coming up to the girl, like Oliver Twist, like, can I have some more?
Right.
Like, in this situation, they have no power.
No, nothing.
None. And so much so that the girl just calls him out straight away. What do you drive?
Yeah.
Like, so he's like, oh, it's like a fucking Ford Taurus or
it's not a LeBaron. It's some
a Camino.
Probably. It was like
whatever it was like a very ordinary car.
Yeah, like it looks stylish enough, but for its time, but
Oh, it's just a fairly ordinary car. It's
yeah.
kind of ordinary car.
Especially in Beverly Hills.
Right.
Yeah.
In Beverly Hills, she's like, maybe she's hoping him to say, Ferrari. Oh, let's go for a ride in your Ferrari then.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever. Like, it's like she's thinking to herself, okay, there's only one possibility that I consider this guy looks more than he is at the moment because he just looks like shit right now. Oh, you drove a Ferrari. All right, maybe there's something going on there.
Yeah.
You know, but what does he expect? This is a Beverly Hills modeling agency.
Yeah. And you're right. It's a great framing of that, literally and metaphorically, of them being on the stairs and them being down.
Because she's like way above him.
Yeah.
As she says this.
Yeah, I really like that insightfulness. It's great.
And so he starts to answer, and straight away, she's not even listening.
No, that's right. He's talking to a friend.
Yeah.
No.
Talking to a friend about saying something like, these fucking losers. That's what she's saying. Something like that.
Yeah. And then what does it cut to the next scene? He goes to Vince Vaughn's character.
Yeah, or Trent, Trent and Sue.
Yeah.
They're in the lounge room, which is full of people, and they're kind of playing hide and go seek with or peekaboo. What do you call it? Peekaboo. They're kind of playing peekaboo with some girl that's at the
That's
fireplace.
right.
And so this score, because the thing is, from the look of this, obviously she's a pretty girl, but from the look of the scene, you can't hear her speak. But from the look of the scene, she's quite charismatic, and people are quite sort of engaged in what she's talking about.
Yeah.
And this is what impresses Trent. And he's thinking, oh, someone's got more charisma than me. No, thank you. I'm the charismatic one here. You know, like if anyone's gonna fuck this girl, it'll be me.
Yeah.
Like this is the Trent brain coming along.
He's being smart not to look at her, like not
directly.
Yeah, make it look like he's taking notice of her. He's playing it cool. And then Mike comes in and he's like, "Oh, that's a pretty girl." And he's like, "Don't look at her. Don't fuck it up, man."
Yeah. Wrecked it.
Yeah.
Fucking. But so. Obviously, there's no more time to waste, so he has to go in at that moment. Now, okay, there's a scene now otherwise. So, yeah, he walks in, starts talking to her, and after a moment, he realizes she's a fucking idiot. She's just incessantly talking about herself and how everyone loves her. That's literally the content of a conversation, is how everyone loves her. And then you start to hear the Jaws saying like,
that's right.
And Jet's like, I've got to get out of this situation.
Yeah, so he gets a number, doesn't
So
he?
that's right. That's his exit. He says, like, give me your phone number.
Yeah.
So he writes it down, walks off, and as he's walking away, fucking tears the number up in front of his mate. And then he wants to leave straight away. So he's like, okay, guys, want to get out of here? What does Charles say? Yeah, man, this place is dead anyway.
Yeah, nice. That's a good callback.
That's the callback.
Right.
So then they go to the dress.
Yeah. But then, before that, the girl waves at him again, and he's like, he gives a little wave.
And she's like, just the thumb sign, call me. Like,
And Mike was just saying how rude that was, and Trent's just like nonchalant. Like, I don't care, man.
Fuck.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
He's like, I throw away 5 numbers like that a day.
Yeah. As you said earlier, he can get girls pretty easily. So.
It's not a problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And also, he's not like fucking a psychopath about it.
No.
And if he hasn't got a girl, he doesn't care. He's fine without one too.
Exactly.
And as we'll sort of get to later, that's kind of the key actually. But so they head down to the Dresden, and at the Dresden there's like a cover band playing, 2-piece, looks like a fucking retired couple.
Oh yeah.
So you've got the old guy playing the drums.
Yeah. Oh, we've got to add too. Every time this group of like Mike and Ron and Trent come into a place or party, wherever, a gathering, everyone kind of turns and stops and goes silent. Then they go back to the thing. It's almost like because they're so different that people just take notice.
Oh yes, yeah, for sure. I think that once again, that's a framing device, almost like those directors' boards when someone else cut.
Yeah,
like that's almost like that.
Okay.
It's kind, and I feel like what it's kind of showing us is, so they came and then left, and no one gave a fuck. Right? Like here it starts,
right?
Here it ends. That's not part of the story now.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, there's then they jump in their cars all in a line, drive down to the hotel all in a line, get out their steering locks, all in a fucking line. This is like Doug Linnemann's bloody. Okay, you've got the Reservoir Dogs thing. This is my thing, the car locks.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like he's trying to do a thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, they go into the pub, old couple playing, and like, if you went to to a next door pub and there's a band playing, this is that band, right? This is like not a particularly good band.
They were playing some cover.
They were doing cover of Staying Alive.
That's the one.
And the chorus really dragged. And especially since, like, the Bee Gees, the music, there's a lot going on there.
Mm-hmm.
But in this band, what they did, literally the whole chorus was just the snare.
Yeah, it didn't work.
And, like, I don't want to say, like, I don't know, that he was singing out of tune exactly. But his pitch control wasn't that on point, was it? Like, I mean, I know 5 better singers who live in my street kind of than this guy.
I wonder if that was purposely done, though. It probably was.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, look, when you say purposely done, I think the casting was deliberate.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a deliberately bad performance.
Right.
I think that's just what that band sounds like. But that's actually the perfect band for that scenario.
Right.
And I would not be surprised if the Dresden, the place that they went to, they actually play there at the fucking Dresden.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Right.
That this is actually a band that plays there. Yeah. This was like late night. Maybe they had some other bands there during the night, but they're the ones that play at fucking 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, it would have been, it's 1 or 2 in the morning. Yeah, exactly. It was pretty late.
It was very late.
I'm going to say it was at least 1.
That's right, because of later.
That's right.
It's 2:15.
Yeah.
So they go down to the Dresden, and this is a fairly busy place. There are a couple of girls sitting on their own at one table. There's a lot of people drinking at the bar. And so here's Mike's next fuck up encounter. So Trent and Sue, they go and they see the girls sitting at the table themselves, and they're like, okay, fuck, it's on, let's go and talk to these girls, because they've had a look over there, and they're looking at us, we're looking at them. There's like a bit of back and forth kind of signaling going on there, and they're like, right, let's make an introduction. So they go off and talk to them, and then here we go. Mike's like, right, I've got to make something happen. He's sitting there with Rob and Charles. They're like, go for it, man. So he walks up to the bar next to this pretty girl, Nikki, and she's there eating olives off of a fucking stick. And Mike's thinking, oh yeah, rightio, let's try my shit on. And in true Mike fashion, he makes a fucking idiot out of himself. She recognizes him. She's like, I think I've seen you from somewhere before. At Starbucks.
That's right.
He asked for an application.
For a job, yeah. And he's like, no, it wasn't me. That wasn't me. I'm doing pretty well in my reading work, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, no, it was definitely you. And he's like, no, I haven't been there for months. And she's like, no, it was like 2 weeks ago. So yeah, it was hilarious. But this is another thing of Mike is just he's just putting on this act he just can't be himself.
He sees Trent be successful.
Yeah.
And he's like, Trent just like literally walks in, says 1 or 2 words, and straight away the girls are responding to him. So anyway, he makes a bit of an idiot out of himself, walks off, and then gets a pep talk. Gets a pep talk by Trent and Sue. And this is when they're puffing him up. They're like, man, you're so money, you don't even know it. And he talks about, he's like, she's just like a little bunny. And you're like this bear with these big fucking claws and these teeth. And you're looking at your claws and the teeth and saying, how do I kill the bunny? Like, they're just really kind of reinforcing, look, this is a situation, you've got all the fucking power here. You know? She has none. She's totally at your mercy. You're so fucking money that if you want to do that, she'll totally be up for it. Right. And so they puff him up, and finally he's like, right, I'm walking back. And he walks back over, and I don't know what he does. He literally just says, maybe, because cleverly here, they don't show us what he says.
That's right, no audio. They just show us the interaction. And it's the mates who are talking, you can hear. Like, what he's going to say. Yeah, all right. And then he just comes back over and he's
got the number.
Yeah.
He's got the number and he goes to fake like he's going to tear.
Yeah.
trying to be big money like Trent. And he doesn't, obviously. Because, seems like a nice girl. Cool. And then they have the discussion about, so how long do you wait before you call? So they're like, firstly, he says, a day. He says, okay, like, so tomorrow. They're like, no, like, tomorrow, then a day. It's like, so 2 days. He's like, yeah. And then Trent says, like, everyone, like, waits 2 days. I think it might be kind of like money if he waits, like, 3 days. And then they're like, yeah, you know what? Why don't you wait 3 days? And he's like, okay, I'll wait 3 days. And then he's like, how long do you guys wait? And then both of them do, they're like, 6 days.
And then Mike's like, maybe I should just wait like fucking 2 weeks, just like sarcastic. And they're like, no.
Well, I think it's funny how that plays out because he says, maybe I should, like, just wait like 3 weeks. And then when I call, just say, look, I was just going through my wallet, found this number. I'll just call him to say, did we fuck? Like. But then, of course, Trent talks in there and says, look, you're having a laugh about it, but you call it too soon and you might just scare somebody.
Yes.
Somebody that otherwise would have wanted to party. So then, you remember what happens? Then there's the car park scene.
Yeah, they all go outside to head home. They're all walking off. And Sue accidentally bumps into, there's another gang of people that walk into the Dresden.
Bunch of guys really probably just a lot like them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they bump and they mouth off to Sue, and Sue's giving it back, and Sue pulls out a fucking gun.
Yeah.
and he's pointing at him, and yeah. So
that's it.
Basically, don't fuck with me, yeah.
It's
crazy.
Flips out.
It's fucking such a crazy, I wouldn't...
Yeah, it was not. It was okay for sure, but just the situation. It was not time for a gun.
No,
there's no need for a gun.
Wasn't.
This is just a person bumps into someone else.
Yeah,
and okay, guys barking off at each other.
Yeah.
Whatever, you know. Hard to even imagine it should escalate into a fight. Let alone pull a fucking gun out.
I mean, it was clear that the guys that bumped into him were looking for something, like fight wise.
Oh, I don't know about that. Look, they were dressed a bit differently. They were wearing beanies. One guy just had a singlet on. Maybe he was looking for a fight. Maybe. Look, I will definitely grant that they were trying to push their weight around.
Okay.
Definitely. Because like when he shoulders into Sue.
Yeah.
Straight away he turns around and says, what did you say? Yeah. Like, so he wanted to maybe just... I don't know. Maybe they wanted a fist fight.
Yeah, that's what it seemed to me anyway.
Maybe they did want a fist fight, and maybe pulling the gun out stopped a fist fight. Maybe.
Yeah.
But in any case, it seemed like that escalated quickly.
Yeah, the dynamics of that was just crazy. And I could tell the formula of like the characters breaking up, like the main protagonists going their own ways. But clearly didn't go that way. But it was, the formula of with the protagonist flipping out and losing all his friends, and the third act, him redeeming himself.
Right, but here,
but it was
a
clearly
supporting
not.
character. He was,
Yeah.
but Sue's a supporting character.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
And thanks to the dynamic between he and Trent.
Huh.
So yeah, okay, Sue's the one with the gun. He still wants to say talk shit back to Trent. So these guys,
good.
when these guys see the gun, they're like, oh well, shit, he's gonna fuck off, and they jump in the car and fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to get shot.
No, that's right.
And then Trent goes sick at Sue.
Yeah.
It's like, what, you fucking idiot? What the fuck do you think you're doing?
Yeah.
Like, did you? And he says, did you think House of Pain was going to do something? Like, they're all dressed like fucking homies.
Yeah.
He's like, no. And so at this moment, emotions are high.
Yes, absolutely.
So Trent goes off at him, and then Mike goes off at Sue.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you fucking can't do this shit, man.
That's right.
Blah, 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 blah. And then, but Sue, feeling a bit browbeaten at this point, lashes out and retaliates.
Tells Mike what he really thinks about can't get over his not being able to get over his ex.
Yeah,
he's
like a
"Get
little
the fuck
bitch. She's
over
like
it."
every fucking night. You fucking
Yeah.
He goes, and the thing is, at this moment, Mike needed to hear something.
Definitely.
You know, because he was still although it's strange at the moment that it came, because at this moment, that was one rare moment he wasn't wallowing in misery.
You got the chick's phone number?
That's right. So he was kind of looking forward to, I'll call this chick in 3 days. Yeah. And then, whatever. Yeah. But Sue hit him straight on the sore nerve.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's when the dynamics of the group seem to have shifted and people parted ways.
That's it. And Charles was just like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Walked straight off.
Yeah. Same as Ron.
Ron doesn't have the same level of confidence that Charles did, but was just like, oh, I gotta
get up early.
Get up early tomorrow. I'll see you later, guys. Yeah. And then it was just the three of them there, and Sue fetches it into Mike, and Mike's like, oh, okay. He didn't even say shit. He could. In his own mind, he's saying, I can't hear this.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just walked off.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's kind of like the climax in a way of the movie. Or no. What do you call it? That's the end of Act 2.
Yeah, end of Act 2. Yeah. That's right.
In terms of the classic 3-act structure. So Mike, the next we see of him, later that night, in his apartment.
Is it later that night or still
later that night?
Later that night.
No. It was they left at 1 a.m. or something.
Okay, yeah.
So this is 2 a.m.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Back in his apartment, he's just got home, and he pulls out Nikki's phone number.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. This is the theme as well. He always checks his answering machine when he gets home. Checks the messages. It's always from his mum or someone else, and clearly the person he doesn't want to hear from, he hears from. And clearly the person he wants to hear from doesn't hear from. His ex-girlfriend. Yeah.
But yeah, so he's got home. He's like, oh. And the thing is, he'd just been rattled. Right, obviously, high emotions, the gun comes out. What feels like his friends fucking turn on him. That's how it felt to him. So he just felt like he needed to talk to someone, and he couldn't talk to any of those guys. He's got this phone number. So he calls this girl at 2:16 a.m. or some shit.
Worst idea ever.
And basically, so he tells this long message, tells his number, answering machine cuts the number off at the end.
Yeah.
So he calls back to try and get the number out, but then he gets sidetracked again.
Yeah.
So third time, he calls back a third time. And, this is the number. Right. But then, instead of hanging up, he goes on to, oh, fuck, I'm a miserable cunt at the moment.
Yeah.
I just came out of a relationship and I'm a fucking loser.
In the fifth call, he was like, we can't see each other anymore. I'm like, How did you didn't get that far? Like, you
I know,
just
right?
got it once.
And then he, as he's doing this,
Yeah.
clearly she was home. She heard this shit going on. She picks up the phone and she just says, "Don't ever call me again."
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure she called back. Did she call back?
No, she doesn't call back to do that. She picks up the phone.
Oh, okay.
whilst
While he's
talking
on.
to them.
Okay, right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking hell. So. And then, like, well, he was. You just see in the next scene, he's got a blanket on the ground in his room. He's got his orange juice. Clearly, he'd been there like all fucking day.
Yep.
Just wallowing in self-pity.
Miserable.
Yeah.
Miserable.
Yeah.
And his friend comes to visit him, try and
Ron,
lift him
yeah.
out. That's it. Rob is his name, is it? Ron Livingston's the actor.
Oh yeah. The character's name is. Yeah, Rob. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So he brought him a sandwich.
He did.
Fucking,
That's right. Some sort of Subway style thing.
Yeah, some kind of fucking some sort of salad roll, and gives him the sandwich. And talks about like last night. Shit, that was crazy. Oh, hey, this was 2 days later.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? It was 2 days later.
This was 2 days later.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Yeah, fuck, that was crazy. Sue was mad shit. Fuck, I don't know what happened. Whatever." He's like, "Oh, it's been a couple of days. Maybe you should give that guy a nickel." Anyway, so later on, he's like, "Look, let's we'll go and visit Sue and T. Things will be all right. Whatever." This isn't really a discussion. It just kind of cuts to that.
Yeah.
So it cuts to Mike's gotten back to the place, and who should be there but House of Pain. All the guys they got in a fight. We nearly got in a fight with last week.
Yeah, that Sue pulled the gun on. Yeah.
Yep. And they're all there playing
NHL
video games.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Sue kind of apologizes to Mike, and Mike's saying, he'd come to terms with it at that point and said, no apologies necessary. I needed to fucking hear some shit anyway. We're better friends for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, so then they go out to the jazz club.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure beforehand, it was either Trent or Sue that also pulls up the whopper, and they're like, "Oh, it's been 2 days. It'd be cool to go out."
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Adding more insult to injury.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went to which one? The jazz club again?
The jazz club where so to begin, like, where people swing, people are dancing.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is where the movie's starting to wind up.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's right, that one. Yeah.
They get into the club, and it's really just kind of there's two parts. The first part is getting into the club, and on the way into the club, because they come in from the back entrance, obviously Trent or Sue knows the club owners or whatever, and they go on this long walk through, like, around the back alley,
the long
through
shot.
the security at the back.
It's an amazing shot.
That's right, one shot.
And
through the security at the back, through the fucking laundry, through the kitchens, finally into the main bar area. And that's at this point, it's kind of focused on Mike looking over at Heather Graham. So Heather Graham's
standing at the bar having a drink.
Yep. And he starts to, like, hallucinate a little bit and see her as a bunny rabbit. Like something's clicked for him or whatever. And he goes over and, like, he's kind of defeated, like, but not caring about it so much anymore. And he goes over and starts talking to her, and actually, like, to begin with, the body language, she's thinking, like, "Are you gonna fucking say something to me, dude? Like, you're standing here, are you gonna talk?"
Hey.
And right, and then finally he does talk, but he's already decided in his own mind, fucking nothing's gonna come of this. So he's, like, relaxed enough to actually just talk to her like a normal person.
Yeah, not trying to impress her, just like, what's going on?
Yeah, and they end up getting into like a reasonable conversation. And
you can see Trent and Sue just going, "What's going on there?"
that's it. And this is funny. Like the side story that's going on. So they're sitting over in the corner, and so these guys have been with so many fucking girls and then ditched them. And then there's this one girl who's over there saying,
Sue.
Yeah. She's saying, why didn't you call me? Why didn't you call me? And he's like, I called you on Monday. I tried to call you on Monday. And she's like, well, who did you speak to? Because I was home all day on Monday. And then like it flips backwards and forwards between their conversation and Mike talking.
And Trent always stealing Sue's concentration to go, look at fucking Mike over there.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then it cuts back to them and then cuts back and then cuts back to them. And then as it cuts back, Trent's saying like, yeah, no, there's no way you could have made a call on Monday. Like,
that's right.
He's just like making it even harder for him. It's like the double neg strategy. But finally it cuts back and it's Sue's kissing this girl.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I think he just did it and then Trent pulled him away again to pay attention to fucking Mike.
Yeah, no, that happens too. And you know what? It's funny. Like, it's with Trent and Sue. It's almost like them getting together to go is a total inevitability. It's just a case of which one it is.
Right.
And this, I think, was a power play of Trent trying to hazing Sue. Sucked in, you don't get a new girl. You're stuck with the one you had last week. Like this is like a prank that he's playing on Sue. Like, it's like it's entertaining to him to scare other girls away, so he's stuck with this one. And you know, nothing wrong with the girl. So yeah, cuts back to Mike and Heather and whatever her name is in this. I don't think it. Maybe can't remember if it was ever said.
Oh, her name is Lorraine. That's right.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. And it says like the quiche. Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, well, that's an original joke." Terrible.
And, but that was great because they both laughed at that.
Right. Laughed not at the joke, but laughed at how bad the joke was.
Yeah.
It's like this is like there's comedy and then there's bombing and then there's like the so bad it's good like. That's such a bomb. Mm-hmm. The fact that it was a bomb is funny.
Yes, exactly.
Full irony.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they keep talking, and she's happy to meet him again. They exchange phone numbers, and then. No, before that they danced. Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
the dance.
Yeah,
this is where it kind of worked out well for him because this conversation wasn't great.
No,
but they're playing like fast jazz. And turns out he's a really good swing dancer.
Yeah, and she's like, "Do you want to do it? You're going to ask me to dance?"
And to start with, he's fully awkward and can't fucking do it.
That's right.
But then something happens, and he just kind of loosens up a bit.
Yeah,
and he's twirling her around and fucking spinning around and doing the crazy throw your feet over here kind of swing
I
stuff.
think this is when Trent was pulling Sue's attention
that's
away.
right. Look at our boy. That's our boy right there. Yeah. And he's pulling all these fucking hectic dance moves.
Yeah, for sure.
And obviously, during this exchange, you see she like fucking bites his ear, whispers something to him, and you're like, okay, it's on.
Yeah.
Like, this is totally impressive.
And it doesn't even matter what she said. It's the fact that she got that,
Yeah, no, you could just see the facial expression. Yeah. She was into that.
Yeah.
Like he couldn't connect with her conversationally, but he managed to connect with her physically.
Yeah.
It's enough.
Yeah.
So they dance.
Mm-hmm.
Dance goes really well. They walk outside, exchange numbers, and then it cuts to the diner afterwards where basically Mike's telling Trent, it went kind of okay. And Trent's doing his usual thing, which is saying, oh man, she likes you. And as if he doesn't know. And in this case, he's like saying, no, I get it, Good. And then Trent kind of feels a bit put out that it's weird because he's all this time he's been trying to make him more confident. Finally, he starts to get some confidence back, and Trent tries to put him down.
Mm-hmm. It does.
And he's like, "Oh, little baby's all grown up."
And he gets up on the chair and starts doing a little dance. Yeah.
That's it. Talks shit to the waitress.
Yeah.
And to be fair, he was drunk as fuck.
Very drunk. Yeah.
But yeah, no, like there was a backlash as soon as his friend got some more confidence.
Yeah.
He didn't like it that much.
No.
It's like he likes being.
He lost his
wanting control.
alpha-ness.
Right. Exactly it.
Mm-hmm.
And then.
Well, it cuts to Mike at home.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what happens? The ex-girlfriend calls.
Uh-huh.
And just like prophecy right at the beginning, somehow they know not to call back until you really don't care anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like throughout the film to this point, I kind of forgot about the ex-girlfriend.
Right.
Because I was so
like there's other stuff happening now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then finally, so she calls back, and then so they have a kind of awkward conversation. Like, I mean, they're talking. Obviously, they know each other quite well. But
they're saying how much they miss each other.
He was being kind of whiny. He was being kind of whiny.
Yeah.
He's all like, "Oh, well, why didn't you call?"
Yeah.
And she, good on her, throws it back to him. Why didn't you call?
Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
Like, why didn't you call? Why didn't I call? Why didn't you call? He was the one who left.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Then through this, he gets another call, and he's like, "Oh, I got another call. I've got to take it." And it's fucking Heather's character, Lorraine.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
And so he puts the girlfriend on hold to find out who the call is. Finds out it's Lorraine. And then he puts Lorraine on hold to get rid of the ex-girlfriend so he can talk to Lorraine.
Yeah,
this whole time he's been wanting to talk to his ex.
Yeah.
Finally she calls. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He wants to talk to Lorraine.
That's right. And the ex-girlfriend before, he's like, "Oh, I'll call you back."
She's like, "I'm going to be out of town for a week. I'm just about to leave the house."
Yeah. Yeah. And as soon as he hangs up, you just hear this, "I love." And then hang up.
That's right.
Yeah. And you're like,
he
"Whoa."
cuts her off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, boom. And then, he talks to Lorraine and has a good old chat. And that's fucking awesome. And then what does it cut to?
Then there's the epilogue.
Yeah, the epilogue, yeah.
Where you've got, once again, they're in a diner.
Yeah.
And Trent's looking over Mike's shoulder at the back. And
Mike's clearly happy.
Mike's stoked. He's going to meet Lorraine.
Yeah.
And they're going to have kids or whatever. He's happy. Trent's looking over at this pretty lady in the back.
Yeah.
And she's like making like these little baby fucking gestures and shit.
Going,
and
aww.
Playing peekaboo.
Yeah.
Like she's playing as if she was playing peekaboo with a baby.
Yeah.
And there's Trent's there trying to fucking play peekaboo with her. And she keeps doing these fucking symbols. And Mike's holding up like the fucking handkerchief in front of his eyes and shit. Like literally playing peekaboo with his. And then bomb. She gets up, picks up the little baby that was in the chair that we can't see.
And Trent's just, And then he just quickly changes the subject.
That's right.
He's
But to no avail.
No, not at all.
I'm still thinking about how much of a bomb that was.
Yeah.
So finally, Trent's like prostrated himself in front of Mike. The whole time, Trent's been the confidence guy.
Yeah.
And Mike's been the sap.
Yeah.
And then finally, Trent looks like a fucking nonce in front of Mike.
Absolutely.
And that's...
And credits. Yeah. It was a brilliant, Bro-Mantic comedy.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is, man.
It's like that's got to balance the scales between them. And it's like... I feel like it's a fully contained story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if someone said, "Oh, have you heard they're making a Swingers 2?"
No,
you'd say, "What the fuck would you do that for?"
Yeah.
Can you imagine it now, 30 years fucking later, 25 years later?
It's changed so much for, PC bullshit.
Well, not just that. Well, Jon Favreau, he's a fat old man now.
Sure.
For example.
Right, okay.
Like,
Right, that's
different kind of movie.
You're swinging down a hill, yeah. Right. What is Vince Vaughn doing these days? I haven't seen him in a movie for a while, actually. Not that I follow his career.
I'm not sure. Maybe it might have been on some TV series, actually.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
Yeah, Swingers, man. Fucking epic film. Thanks for watching that with me, Colin.
It was a sick movie. So, I mean, I guess we kind of included some of the critique in the scene by scene kind of thing. So look, I did not realise, but Vince Vaughn is the executive producer of F is for Family.
I've not heard of that.
Bill Burr's F is for Family.
Oh, no.
You don't have Netflix, do you?
I do.
Yeah, and you haven't seen F is for Family?
No. So it's a TV show?
TV show. It's animated TV show.
Animated TV show.
Like,
F is for Family.
It's kind of like, a drama / comedy.
Okay.
The Simpsons type of deal.
A Bro-Mantic comedy?
I think they call it a dramedy, but that's
okay.
Shitty portmanteau. I think it's essentially, it's more of a drama than The Simpsons.
Yeah, okay.
Like The Simpsons does have its moment of drama,
Mm.
and you know what? At different seasons have been more dramatic than others.
Yeah, definitely.
But F is for Family is more about the storylines,
okay,
than it is about,
right,
fucking comedy.
Yeah, okay. Oh, I see.
But I mean, it is a comedy, but the kind of comedy is just like laughing at the kinds of characters they are.
Right, not necessarily the story, just the characters.
But yeah, that being said, it does take a lot from The Simpsons.
Yeah, okay. Well, that was Days of Actors Past, Jon Favreau, podcast episode 1. How about the next time we do, like The Mandalorian, we've gone from the first of Favreau stuff to the last of Favreau stuff.
We could do that. And I was actually also just thinking, just because it came out, we could do something unrelated and like the new Bill and Ted or something.
Right, which is a fucking horrible film.
Isn't it? Doesn't it? Shit.
It's not good.
There, we just did it.
Yeah.
Trash.
Yeah, we might as well stick with the Favreau theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked Ted's daughter, though.
Yeah.
She was sick.
All right, yeah. She played it well.
She did.
Yeah, absolutely. And in Bill and Ted...
literally perhaps the only believable character.
Yeah. In Bill and Ted 3, I finally found a more annoying character than Jar Jar Binks. That fucking robot.
Yeah.
So annoying.
Yeah. Quite annoying.
Fucking annoying.
Caleb fucking Johnson. Or what the fuck was his name?
I don't care what it was. That's stupid. Yeah, so that's a pretty quick podcast on that piece of shit film. Yeah,
no.
It's a shame. Well, I've been Wookie. Thanks for listening to us. This has been Colin.
Okay, see you later.
All right. Cheers for that. Take care.